Monica Sia, hello. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. Thanks for saying hi, Monica Sia. I must move to Indiana. All right, dear ones. Let's align ourselves with the divine. And then let's just be guided. And actually, I'm going to read something. One moment. Okay. This is about surrendering to God. Are we willing to make a full surrender, to yield ourselves absolutely to God? This is the great question. What God wants is not praising lips, reverence and prayers only, but ourself, our powers and capacities and possessions, not a tenth of our income and 1/7 of our time, but all of our income and all of our time. The clear ringing challenge is this: are you willing to let God run your life? Or will you keep it to your own hands? Are you wanting to use God for your own purposes? Or are you willing to let Him use you for His? And that's from the book, The 8 Points of the Oxford Group. I have one more that I want to read. Willpower is an active force, as positive and in its effects as, say, electricity, even though the effects are beyond our present knowledge or something we can't measure. We think that willpower has been the driving force for the accomplishment of great works, deeds, feats, and inventions. But in reality, willpower has been insufficient to carry these great projects to completion. The power for the accomplishment of great achievements comes from God. If our willpower is put under God's direction, it has boundless possibilities. Surrendering our will to God's will does not mean that our faculties are deadened, but that they are awakened with the infinite power of God and with the guidance of His judgment for their best use, according to the individual plan God has mapped out for each of us. And that is from, yes, that's from the book, What is the Oxford Group? So specifically right now, I'm reading from the book, How to Listen to God by Wally Patton. And this has summarizes a couple other books. Okay, since you asked, so I've talked a lot on this channel about the original 12-step program, and I'll go over the titles of the book again. The original 12-step program was about surrendering to God. And it was drawn from a group called the Oxford Group. And so the original 12-step program was non-denominational, non-focused on a particular religion. And it was drawn from a group called the Oxford Group, which was a Christian-based group on how to surrender to God. And so what I was reading right there were some selections from the book How to Listen to God, which is a summary about the Oxford Group. And I just feel so strongly that Bruno's teachings and the Oxford Group and the 12-step are sort of one and the same. You just add in Einstein. And they're really... So today I was reading from How to Listen to God, page 161 and 163. And the summaries we read were from the book What is the Oxford Group, and the 8 points of the Oxford Group. So I had a dream last night. It was more like a vision, kind of as I was falling asleep, of all these gigantic chains of lightning. And I felt very strongly that was God, just all this electricity and power. And that I was one little small part. Like I was one little stroke of light. And that what I need to do, and I would argue what we all need to do, but I leave that up to you to determine, is to align ourselves with the great power source and to be part of the whole. And the way to do that is surrender. And how to surrender? Well, that's what the original 12-step program and the Oxford Group was all about. Talked about it many times on this channel. And Bruno Gröning said it very simply. If you want to succeed, follow God. So I'm going to be talking about more. I'm going to talk about this more and more because I feel like this theme is really the foundation of... Bruno Gröning wasn't a healer. And he didn't teach healing. That was part of what he taught. What he really taught was aligning ourselves with God. And to do that, we have to surrender. We have to be willing to take directions from God. As Bruno said, not to listen to other people, but to listen to God. And the simplest way to do it is just say, God, you're in charge of my life now. This is the short version. You're in charge. I know you can guide me and direct me. Bruno, please help with this process. And say, what would you have me do next? And then go do that thing. What would you have me do next? And then go do that thing. Thy will, not mine, be done. What's your will for me right now? And then go do that. And as we become aware of negative thoughts, fears, then we hand those over to God. We surrender them to God. Bruno taught us that such things are not random. They're actually evil, gnawing at us. And that we need the divine power. We need God to overcome those things. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you, Monica Sia, for your interest. For those who want to know more, 1 second. And I'll post this link. I have a YouTube channel, just dedicated to the original 12 steps, and I'm going to change it to the path of surrender to God. But here is a link for it. One moment. And so let's have a good day. One of my favorite spiritual quotes is, "Those who trust in God are sure to have a good day." So there's more to it than that. There's also surrender to. Be like, God, you're the boss. I'm the employee. You're the master. I'm the servant. You're the architect. I'm the worker. To take on that attitude and live it. Take care, dear ones. Big love.